Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen for the presentation. Okay, here we are. In this presentation, I am going to analyze and present the European Union guidelines on freedom of religion or belief, also called FORB in an acronym. I am Mattia Badano, and I am a master's student in the course of Strategic Studies and Security Policy at Link Campus University. Okay, diving in the EU guidelines, both for the promotion and protection of FORB, we can state that these guidelines are a framework which aim to promote and protect a fundamental right. And this fundamental right, quoting it, is the right to freedom of thought, conscience, religion, or belief, which is both the Article 18 in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and also of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. In order to have a better understanding on this framework, which those guidelines are, we can say that they aim to protect and promote this right within the European Union and in its external relation with third countries. The document addresses various priority areas of actions, and this framework is divided in the need, the scope, the actors, and the target that these guidelines are referred to. And going step by step, the need is the fact that these guidelines are essential because of the persistent challenges faced by individuals and communities worldwide in exercising their freedom of religion or belief. And there are many violations of discrimination and persecution that keeps going worldwide, and we are now assisting to a religion war in Palestine and Israel. So that's for sure. Those are guidelines very needed still now. 11 years later, they were adopted. The scope of the document encompasses both internal and external dimension, and they emphasize European Union's commitment to promote freedom of religion or belief globally. And the actors involved in implementing these guidelines are the EU institution, namely, I can name some of them, for example, the EEAS, which is the External Action Service, then, of course, the European Parliament, the Council, and the target group of these guidelines are for sure also the again, the EU institutions, member states, civil society organization, human rights defenders, and international partners. As it has been stated in the press release of the Council meeting for Foreign Affairs, which happened in the 24th of June 2013, as I said before, around 11 years ago, In the press release, is stated that one of the points of the agenda of this council meeting was precisely the decision to adopt or not the EU guidelines drafted by the EU Commission. And here there is the quote of the press release where they announce in this date in Luxembourg that those guidelines had been adopted. Here you have the link to the whole press release. So going a bit deeper in these EU guidelines, we can see the structure of it. It starts with an introduction on the purpose and why they are needed, and passing through the definitions, without which there could not be a full understanding of the topic. And then it goes with the operational guidelines, priority areas of action, the tools needed for following those guidelines, and at the end, the practical way of implementation and evaluation of the guidelines. So, as the introduction part of the document, they share their purpose and scope, which is the commitment to promoting, protecting, respecting FORB within the EU and also externally. And it's important, the focus that they do on addressing, prevent and addressing violation through human rights policies. Between the whole definitions that they mention in this introductory part, it's important the concept of impartiality, which clarifies that the EU has to be and is impartial with any specific religion or belief, and upholds the right to believe or not to believe, and equal protection to all persons, whether they believe or not, and in whatever they believe. In the definitions, there are also the definition of freedom to have, adopt, change, abandon a religion, and which have slightly different meanings. And also the definition of manifestation, for which every individual has to be free of manifest one's religion or belief individually or in a community. The protection and manifestation happens because in these guidelines there is the prohibition of coercion to change one's religion or belief, and also equally importantly, the states should not restrict the freedom of having any religion or belief. But why they say should? Because the European Union knows and puts awareness on the fact that there can be some limitations, but they have to be prescribed by the law. And all those limitations are crucially inspected during this introductory part. Going on the operational guidelines. Think of this part as a roadmap, I would say, for ensuring freedom of religion or belief that is both respected and protected. In this part, there are a set of rules to make sure that everyone's rights are upheld and that no one gets left behind. These guidelines lay on the principal priorities and tools for an action in promoting and defending this fundamental human right. And let's have a look at some of the of these operation guidelines. The first is the universal character of freedom of religion or belief, which states that freedom of religion is something that applies to everyone and everywhere, in the most simple way to say it. The second one is individual right exercising community with others. I like to picture this as a potluck dinner where everyone brings a dish to share. There is the freedom to enjoy your meal alone, but at the same time you can also bring it in the table and share it with others. This is the precise meaning in a metaphorical way of this point. And last but not least, the primary role of states in ensuring freedom of religion or belief. And with this, the European Union declares that it's a government's responsibility to make sure people can practice their religion or belief without any trouble. Going on, we see here the priority areas of action, and here is where we actually have to roll up our sleeves and focus on the key themes that demand the main attention and the topics that have to be tackled in order to promote and protect FORB. And those topics, we can see them here stated clearly, and they are violence, freedom of expression, promotion of respect for diversity and tolerance, discrimination, changing or leaving one's religion or belief, manifestation of religion or belief, and support and protection for human rights defenders. Here instead there is another section of the tools that the EU Commission highlighted as the main tools in order to make sure that these guidelines are followed. And these tools, we can see them here stated in a list, but I would make a focus on the diplomatic role that also during our course we have studied, and also in the whole master program, we focus on the role of diplomacy and public and political dialogues, and the role that the governments has to share with others their values and the values especially of their member states, but especially also of the European Union. This is why there is the promotion of FORB in multilateral fora, the member state visits, again, political dialogues, and a lot of reporting for sure, because monitoring, assessing, and reporting is a key player here, because it's very important always to make sure that there is freedom of expression, and it is fundamental the fact that all the violations are reported. And only in this way there can be actually an action that can be taken. And the last one here is training. But regarding training, I believe we're going to talk about this in the final part of this presentation, where we're going to see a practical way of promoting and protecting FORB by the EU, giving also financial help for the educators and trainers on several topics, but for sure also on FORB. The last section with which the guidelines concludes are the implementation and evaluation, very strictly related to the tools that we just went through, and and also to the training specifically, because implementation it's a main part of the whole process that the whole framework that these guidelines actually are, as we said at the beginning. And this framework concludes, and I think it makes totally sense, the fact that the implementation part and the evaluation of this implementation of the guidelines has to be taken and has to be the final part, because only through a deep and critic evaluation on the action taken by all the targets and actors for which those guidelines have been written for, um, have a deep evaluation, because only through this, only through that, it's possible to grow, and as a European Union and as a society in a long term. Because through evaluation you can find what worked and what didn't work. And but let's have a specific look on who are the actors that will implement and evaluate. And the key players here are the COHOM, which is precisely the Working Party on Human Rights, Consilium, and its task force, which has this role of implementing these guidelines and taking track what we saw before, the monitoring, assessing, and reporting part. And for sure, it's very important also the consultation with the civil society and academic experts. And this is how more or less the guidelines conclude, giving an encouraging efforts to promote and protect freedom of religion or belief. I would like, before going to the next slide, I would like to make a little bit again a focus on the consultation with civil society and academic expert, because this is crucial, and it's something the European Union since a long time is already doing and is promoting, more importantly, through financial help to whoever points the same values through what writing program projects on those topics. So this is the practical way for promotion by the European Union. It's one of the several ones, and through the Erasmus Plus program. The Erasmus Plus program is a program which focuses on education, training, youth, but not only youth, and sports a lot. It aims for personal and professional development, and in fact the target groups of which the projects can be targeted are several, both professional but also amateurs in what they do and what they want to do. Adult education, youth education, and people with disabilities, people without disabilities. The Erasmus Plus program has a very wide range of targets. And as I was saying before, a key focus is on the educational part, intercultural understanding, and transition to the labor market. The educational part is very important. It is a key focus of Erasmus Plus program, since it It focuses on non-formal education mainly. What is non-formal education? It's something that goes beyond the normal education at school or at the university, at every level, because it's instead of being a vertical education, it's an horizontal kind of education. So this Erasmus Plus program um, promote their values and the priorities and values of the European Union, as we will see in a moment, which those are. But it promotes it by giving funds to the civil society and experts on several topics. Through organization, private organization or public organizations like NGOs. And those funds are given to through following the Erasmus Plus guide, another set of guidelines for writing the projects and which topic those projects have to refer to, and a lot of funds are given to precisely trainers or educators for educating in this non-formal manner, and several part of the budget is given for expert research and opinion on how to implement in an innovative way, and in order to promote the European Union values. But the Erasmus Plus program is very wide in the topics, but here I have selected the priorities that are linked to the FORB, and these guidelines these priorities comes from the European Union, the Erasmus Plus program drafted by the European Union Council 2024. Those priorities are that are linked to the freedom of religion or belief are the inclusion and diversity priorities, which promotes equal opportunities and access, targets groups with fewer opportunities, and it aims to create inclusive environments. In the Erasmus Plus program guidelines are stated that the needs for which this inclusion and diversity is a priority to be promoted through funds, and those needs are potential barriers. And those barriers are cultural differences, social barriers, and the barriers linked to discrimination. And precisely, I will quote a part of the guidelines, which is barriers can occur as a result of discrimination linked to gender, age, ethnicity, religion, beliefs, sexual orientation, disability, or intersectional factors, a combination of two or several of the mentioned kinds of discrimination. This is very important because through this part we can see that the European Union through the Erasmus Plus program is strictly related to the guidelines just presented during this presentation in order to promote and protect the fundamental right of FORB. Here I have selected one example which can give a little bit an overview in order to understand better what those projects of which I've been talking about in the last 3 slides funded by the Erasmus Plus program. And this project that I have taken in as an example is Dare to Dream, which is a youth exchange program and explores freedom of speech and religion. The action type is precisely, it's a very common way of dividing which is the action that is going to be taken by the NGOs that are part of the project. And in this case, it's a youth mobility. Youth mobility means that the main focus of the project that has been funded is the mobility, so giving the opportunity to 5 or 6 people of the region and countries partners to have the opportunity to explore and going through the non-formal education in order to explore freedom of speech and religion. The project started in 2018, the 1st of February, and ended up the 31st of January of 2019. The duration is almost 1 year, and the participating countries were Malta, Italy, and Romania. The coordinator of the project was Malta, and the priorities of the project were questions to question the value of free speech and to see if it is undermined by societal values. It aimed to explore a distinction between religious freedom and tolerance, and emphasizes the responsible decision making and harmonious coexistence. So the funding of this project went to the coordinator organization in order to be able to host 30 participants coming from the partner countries, which were aged between 17 and 22. So in this case, we can already from the method of non-formal education, which is this mobility, in order to have 1 week of connecting people coming from different countries, and in order to going through an educational module for which lasted 1 week for those young people, and these modules were written by experts, as we were saying before, which is one of the main target of those guidelines. So from this we can see that the experts and the civil society through NGOs, for example, play a pivotal role in order to promote these values, the European values, European Union values, and also and especially the values depicted through the EU guidelines on FORB. And this is just an example, but actually here I put some links that you can go through, and you can search for any topic or kind of action. And also going through the Erasmus Plus Guide 2024, where the concept of freedom of religion or belief is stated several times. So to have a better look to other projects, there is the link for all funded project, and after this I thank you for your attention, and I hope this presentation was insightful in order to share what are the EU guidelines on FORB. Thank you very much.